We're having a look around the rose garden at Chatsworth House in Derbyshire today, and that's brought to you with the support of King Seed and Cobra Garden. Well, Jill and I have recently been working at Chatsworth House in Derbyshire for their annual garden and plant fair. We've had a wonderful 3 days, lots of fantastic nurseries, talks and demonstrations on the stage. But one of the benefits of being here is we get to look around the amazing gardens that surround Chatsworth. Huge areas and so much variety, but one particular area that I really like is this one. This is the rose garden, and it's not your traditional rose garden planted just purely with roses. What the team have done here is they very cleverly put some amazing specimen and species shrub roses in here, but they've interplanted with a whole range of hardy perennials that gives an extended colour and a different colour palette throughout the season. And the reason I like this is because you've got that variety. It is very much a cottage garden style, but we've got this classical formal structure and feature behind us, and I think you can get so many ideas and so much inspiration from these beds and scale it down to do it in your garden. So as you can see, we have got the amazing roses here dotted through of all different colours, and then between them we've got irises, we've got nepeta, we've got violas, we've got astrantia, alliums that pop up and give us those extra bits of colour. And having something like this is really, really easy to maintain once you've got it established. So for the roses, for example, obviously this is now rose season, and they're now starting to bloom really well here at Chatsworth, and we can keep these flowering literally all season long. The secret is, of course, deadhead. When the flowers go over, and that one's been dashed a little bit by the rain, another few days it will have gone over, so we can snip those flowers off, and what that will do, of course, is encourage more shoots and more flower buds to form to give that continued display of blooms. And you know, with a little bit of deadheading on a regular basis, there's no reason that we can't keep these roses flowering from, you know, late May, early June, right the way through till September. We've got things like the nepeta here. This is a great ground cover. This is one that you can treat quite harshly. I mean, it will flower and flower and flower, but again, you can cut out the flowering stems, and there's always masses of new growth coming from below that will take its place and give you, again, a continued display of flowers. I love foxgloves. You wouldn't expect foxgloves, of course, to be growing in a rose garden. And I'm not sure, to be honest, whether these have been planted or whether these are just natural seedlings, but they're dotted all around, and it just gives these columns of growth. Now, we always think of foxgloves, and this is a lovely white one, we think of them as being just a one-hit wonder, but they don't have to be. Yes, in the wild they would flower, seed and die, but once this main flowering stem here has flowered, what we can do with it is we can cut it off here, and what we've got in these leaf joints just here, we've got little growths. They will grow, and we will get multiple shorter heads of flowers in several weeks' time. So again, it's all about extending the growing season with those. And then, of course, we've got the amazing irises, and there's lots of them all around the garden. We've got blue ones, we've got mauve ones, we've got all different colours. I love these blue ones, in fact, down here, as they're all drifted in. We've got alliums here. Again, when they finish flowering, we're going to get those big seed heads. We've got astrantia growing just here. This one looks like one that we grow in our garden. It looks very much like a variety called Roma, which has these deep pink flowers. And again, great for cut flower, but if you keep deadheading it by cutting out the stems low down when they've finished, they will continually put up more growth. But just look at these amazing flag irises. Aren't they beautiful? And they come in such a range of flowers, colours, and the flowers look to me just like crepe paper. They are wonderful, standing really well here. What we do with these, of course, is we take the flowering stems off once they've flowered. They won't reflower again, but we've then got that lovely architectural foliage, and these have spread into a nice clump here. And what you can do if you want to, every 3 or 4 years, is in August time, lift up a clump. Seems completely the wrong time to do it, but that's when we divide these flag irises. We lift up a clump, we divide it, trim down the foliage and plant it. And the tip is, when you're replanting your flag irises, the rhizome, that fleshy root, needs to be facing the sun, and it needs to be on the surface. We don't bury it deep, it needs to be exposed, and it's that sun on it that helps to ripen it and encouraging the flowers next year. So it is absolutely wonderful. It's a tapestry of colour. I just wish my garden looked like this at the moment. Maybe in a few years' time it will, but hopefully if ever you get the chance to come to Chatsworth, come here and have a look at this amazing rose garden. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember all the videos and our weekly podcasts can be found on YouTube, where you can subscribe for free. We'll be back in our garden next week, so we'll see you then. Bye.